in really debating this topic. Gilly said that he wants to debate you, so I'm gonna let you two debate. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I'd say, like, you said the universe is infinite. Is that what you said?
Yes, correct. Eternal, correct. Yes.
So, like, what evidence would you have that the universe is infinite?
It's logically based. So think about it this way, right? If there was no time at the beginning, it couldn't have been created. Like there was no time. So how can there be change? So that's basically like the argument.
Charles,
Okay.
I appreciate the follow.
Well, so I'd say that if a god created it, he could have created it simultaneously, meaning the first act would have been the first change, which would have been time. So it would have been
If he exists, if your God exists, that means there is time. Do you agree with that?
No, I disagree with that. He'd be timeless.
You disagree with that?
He'd enter into time once he creates it. Like, the moment he creates it, he'd enter into it atemporally.
For something to exist, there must be time. Do you agree with that?
For something to exist, there must be time? No.
If something exists, if there's no time?
For
Yeah.
something to change, there must be time? Yes, I'd agree, but not for something to just merely exist. Because if it always existed and it didn't change, then that would be logically consistent. But I think we should shy away from just logically because, I mean, there's good evidence that the universe began to exist just outside of logical parameters. So, like, the Borg-Guth-Vilenkin theory says that any universe that has been expanding on net average throughout its history must have had a beginning. So that's kind of like...
Yeah, correct. Due to heat death, it's impossible. Yes, correct. So due to heat death, it's impossible for the universe to be eternal. However, we do not really know like what happened before like Planck time length. So, there's like a lot of evidence actually that points out like, well, we just do not really know like what happened before
saying
that.
we don't know like Planck time length doesn't really like respectfully establish a beginningless universe at all. It would just like all Planck time is kind of like, just like quantum fields that is the lowest time which we can empirically observe, but that wouldn't show that it's infinite at all.
It just shows like we do not know. That's my argument. Basically the evidence points out that we just do not like at this moment we do not really know like what happened before Planck time, right? So it's very possible that it's infinite, right? And actually, I know that there are like a couple of theories, like I believe like a multiversal theory, like based on like straw theory, I think. But I'm not too sure on that.
My thing would be
Yeah.
is okay. So once again, though, like, and I'm not sure, like the Planck time does not. Even if we say we don't know, that would not establish that we don't have like. There are lots of things we don't know with 100% mathematical certainties, but that would not show that we cannot deduce the inference to the best explanation, which is the scientific method, that there is a beginning. But let me get to what you just said, multiverses. So I completely disagree with multiverses because multiverses still have to follow the Borg-Guth-Vilenkin theory. So basically, if you posited that there was a bunch of multiverses, they would all have a beginning in and of themselves as well. So it would just be kind of like, push the question back. But I'm interested in your response.
The problem with that analysis, though, is that it also assumes like, okay, so if there is no multiverse, then where is God? Like that's basically like, so you have to concede that there could be a multiverse. If your argument is that God is actually eternal, like God is atemporal, that means like he's outside this universe, right? Meaning that he's in another universe, so he is kind of multiversal. So
yeah, he wouldn't be a multiverse because multiverse just posits that there's an infinite. This kind of, which is inexplicable in and of itself as well, that there's just like this multiverse generator which pops out an infinite amount of multiverses. But Roger Penrose, if you know who that is, levied a good objection against multiverses, and that's if you believe that there are multiverses, then you would have a defeater because it's more probable that in these multiverses we're just fluctuations of brainwaves which have illusory experiences of the external world. So nothing, even the belief in that itself would be of multiverse.
Wait. So are you saying because there is a multiverse, like my brainwaves would make me have like an illusionary perceival of the like things around me? Is that your argument?
Well, so this is based on physics. This would be called like the Boltzmann Brain reductio. It shows that and this doesn't just apply to multiverses, this applies to like eternal universes as well, that if we predict more of these, because if these multiverses pop up, oh my gosh, bro. Get dude out of here. But if these multiverses are things which are infinite, and if the universe is infinite, it's far more likely that random brain waves,
Hey yo!
bruh.
Alright, sorry about that.
But anyways, it would be more likely that
I disconnected.
that random brainwaves would fluctuate into existence rather than just our actual selves where we are now.
If the universe is infinite, there is a chance like random brainwaves would fluctuate into the universe. Is you said that? Okay.
Yeah, with the
But
multiverse.
again, I'm having a trouble though understanding like how would that like be a defeater for a multiversal theory though.
So it would be an easy defeater for multiverse, because it would be a reductio showing that if we predict more Boltzmann brains than regular observers, such as, so for example, like it would be way more probable that instead of coming in, like instead of having an actual Earth which fully aligns like we do now, where there's a biological complexity that takes place over spans of billions of years, which humans like us come along, it would be more probable that there would be fluctuations of brain states that come into existence in the universe rather than that. So what I'm saying is, if we posited multiverses, it would be more probable that we are just basically brains fluctuate in space through illusory perceptions. And this is a well-established theory in physics called Boltzmann brains, if you want to look into it. But it is a big defeater for multiverse, I'd say. I mean, you could posit other eternal theories for the universe, but I think the multiverse theory has a lot of problems with it, such as that one I just posited.